Hi guys, this is Miss Henry from the Elmwood Park Branch Library. I'm here for a read aloud session. I'm excited to be here. I love to read. I love to read to others. I love others to read to me. Hope you're doing a lot of fun reading at home. And remember that if you've run out of books at home or if you want to read something other than what you have at home, you can always go to the Detroit Public Library website, get your parent to help you, and you jump on, get a library card if you don't have one, and get either an audiobook or an ebook, and then just relax and enjoy. Now, I've selected something for you today that I find really interesting. I find all my books interesting, but this one I found particularly interesting. It's set in India. The title is One Grain of Rice. Okay, guys. And I want you to sit back, relax, open your imagination, really pull in your thinking skills, because this one is going to require a lot of that, right? One grain of rice. Long ago in India, there lived a Raja who believed that he was wise and that he was fair. There is a Raja, and he believed that he was wise and as fair as any Raja could be. The people in his province were rice farmers. The Raja decreed that everyone must give nearly all of their rice to him. I will store the rice safely, the Raja promised the people, so that in time of famine, everyone will have rice to eat and no one will go hungry. Every year, the Raja's rice collectors gathered nearly all of the people's rice and carried it away to the royal storehouses. Okay, so there are the rice farmers. Right, and they're the royal storehouses, and then on the elephants, they would go on the elephants to collect the rice, and they would take them to the storehouses. Now remember, the Raja thought he was wise and fair. How are you feeling now? Do you think so far what you've heard, he's been fair? You answer that one. I'd love to hear. You can always email me at krhenry@Detroit Public Library if you want to comment, detroitpubliclibrary.org if you want to comment on this story, okay? So, let's keep going. For many years, the rice grew well. The people gave nearly all of their rice to the Raja, and the storehouses were always full. But the people were left with only just enough rice to get by. Then one year, the rice grew badly and there was famine and hunger. The people had no rice to give to the Raja and they had no rice to eat. Okay. So that was when things were really good and the storehouses were full. Now here we have famine. People are hungry. They have neither rice to eat nor rice to give to the Raja. The Raja's ministers implored him, "Your Highness, let us open the royal storehouses and give the rice to the people as you promised." "No," cried the Raja. "How do I know how long the famine may last? I must have the rice for myself. Promise or no promise, a Raja must not go hungry." There we ask the question again. Is he wise? Is he fair? Time went on and the people grew more and more hungry, but the Raja would not give out the rice. Okay, so here we have the ministers coming to the Raja to ask him, please remember to be kind and fair and to act on your promise to give the people the rice. And he said no. And there the people really suffering, and see how brown the land is, nothing is growing, and they're hungry. One day, the Raja ordered a feast for himself and his court. As it seemed to him, a Raja should now and then, even when there is a famine. So he's going to have this great big feast, guys, and the people in the land are hungry. Is that fair, guys? A servant led an elephant from a royal storehouse to the palace, carrying 2 full baskets of rice. A village girl named Rani saw that a trickle of rice was falling from one of the baskets. Quickly, she jumped up and walked along beside the elephant, catching the falling rice in her skirt. She was clever, and she began to make a plan. I wonder what her plan was. See? He wants to have a great big feast. So he's preparing for his great big feast. And he went, and there's the elephant who was sent to get the rice from the storehouse. And there's the little girl, Rani. Do you see her? She saw that rice was falling, and she had a plan. At the palace, a guard cried, "Halt, thief! Where are you going with that rice?" "I'm not a thief," Rani replied. "This rice fell from one of the baskets, and I'm returning it now to the Raja." When the Raja heard about Rani's good deed, he asked his ministers to bring her before him. "I wish to reward you for returning what belongs to me," the Raja said to Rani. "Ask me for anything and you shall have it." Now, guys, what would you have asked for? Everybody was hungry, no food. He had all the food in the world. What would you have asked for? I know what I would have asked for at this time. Let's see what Rani does. Let's see, before we go, there's Rani. She had the rice in her skirt. Okay, and there is the Raja, who told her that he would give her anything that she wants. "Your Highness," said Rani, "I do not deserve any reward at all. But if you wish, you may give me 1 grain of rice." "Only 1 grain of rice?" exclaimed the Raja. "Surely you will allow me to reward you more plentifully, as a Raja should." "Very well," said Rani. "If it pleases your Highness, you may reward me in this way. Today you will give me a single grain of rice. Then each day for 30 days you will give me double the rice you gave me the day before. Thus, tomorrow you will give me 2 grains of rice. The next day you will give me 4 grains of rice, and so on for 30 days. Okay, there she is telling the Raja what she wants. She told him she wanted 1 grain of rice. 1 single grain of rice. Now, do you think that's smart, guys? I really don't think so. Not at this time. What could 1 grain of rice do? You know, when you're gonna cook rice, you need a whole scoop of rice, a whole cup of rice. And she wanted 1 grain of rice. "This seems still to be a modest reward," said the Raja, "but you shall have it." And Rani was presented with a single grain of rice. Just 1 grain of rice. But she did tell him that she'd want it doubled every day for 30 days. So the next day, Rani was presented with 2 grains of rice. So day 2, and she only has 2 grains. There's absolutely nothing you can do with 2 grains of rice. And the following day, Rani was presented with 4 grains of rice. So let's see what she does. With her first day, she gave it a bird because, what can 1 grain of rice do? And she keeps feeding these birds with 2 grains and then 4 grains because there's absolutely nothing else you could do with 1 grain of rice. 2 grains of rice or 4 grains of rice. On the 9th day, Rani was presented with 256 grains of rice. She had received in all 511 grains of rice, only enough for a small handful, just a little bit of rice. Still nothing you can do with a handful of rice. The girl is honest, but not very clever, thought the Rajah. She would have gained more rice by keeping what fell in her skirt. On the 12th day, Rani received 2,048 grains of rice, about 4 handfuls. On the 13th day, she received 4,096 grains of rice, enough to fill a bowl. So by this time, she has a bowl of rice. And again, there's not much she can do with her rice. She just, gives it to the animals as they come, because she had just a handful, then she had a cupful, then she had a bowl full of rice. So she just gave it to the animals. On the 16th day, Rani was presented with a bag containing 32,768 grains of rice. Altogether, she had enough rice for 2 full bags. So guys, do you kind of see what's going on here now? This doubling adds up to more rice than I expected, thought the Rajah. But surely her reward won't amount to much more. Because on day 16, halfway through 30 days, she still only had enough for 2 bags of rice. There she is. And there's the bag. There are the bags on the wagon. 2 bags of rice. Now, 2 bags of rice could probably feed just one family. Remember, everybody was starving. But on the 20th day, Rani was presented with 16 more bags filled with rice. On the 21st day, she received 1,048,576 grains of rice, enough to fill a basket. She now has a basket of rice, guys. So the doubling looks like it's working. On the 24th day, Rani was presented with 8,388,608 grains of rice, enough to fill 8 baskets, which were carried by her 8 royal deer. Now she has 8 baskets of rice. She went from 1, now she's at 8 on day 24. I wonder who's the smart one. On the 27th day, 32 Brahma bulls were needed to deliver 64 bags of rice. The Rajah was deeply troubled. 1 grain of rice has grown very great indeed, he thought. But I shall fulfill the reward to the end, as a Rajah should. So it seems now he's beginning to learn that he needs to keep his promises. There they are, all those bulls, 64 bulls, to deliver all those bags of rice. On the 29th day, Rani was presented with the contents of, guess what? 2 royal storehouses. There are just so many camels carrying all those bags of rice. Not just 1 storehouse now, 2 storehouses, because she kept doubling the numbers. Oh, wow, look at this. On the 30th and final day, 256 elephants crossed the province, carrying the contents of the last 4 royal storehouses. 536,870,912 grains of rice. Look at this, guys. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So now she had enough rice. Who would have thought? Altogether, Rani had received more than 1 billion grains of rice. The Raja had no more rice to give. "And what will you do with this rice?" said the Raja with a sigh. "Know that I have none." "I shall give it all away to the hungry people," said Rani. "And I shall leave a basket of rice for you. Promise she said, if you promise from now on to take only as much rice as you need." The Raja said, "I promise." The end. Now, guys, wasn't that an absolutely spectacular and masterful use of her little self, her brain? 1 grain of rice doubled each day, and she ended up with what? 6 storehouses worth of rice. And then here's the math for you guys. It starts with day 1, then it goes to 2, and then 4, then 8, and then 16, and it just keeps doubling until she ended up with how many billion grains of rice? Okay. All right. So that was today's read along. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I really, really enjoyed this book a lot, 1 Grain of Rice, because it just shows that sometimes you have to, think your way out of situations. Think how you can best use something in situations, how you can best use difficult circumstances to get what you need. And it also tells us how we need to be wise, how we need to be kind, because in the end, she could have just taken everything, but she made him realize that he needed to be kind. All right, guys. I will see you again for another read along. Take good care. Have some fun at home. Read, as I always say. All right. Bye.